What is going on, guys? This is the Fourth and Wrong podcast. Today, I'm joined with Colin, Marshall, and Donnie. My name is Dallas. We're going to be doing some NFL award predictions. Anything else we're going to be talking about preseason? Hendon Hooker played amazing once again.
Yeah, Hendon Hooker
Anything
needs to be
else?
quarterback too.
I saw that Russ played like dog shit, but I did not
Ru
watch any of it.
Russ and Fields played like
Russ
dog
and
shit.
Fields played like ass.
They've
I'm starting to
awakened
think my
Jason.
predictions from last week aren't going to be too bad.
They've
I'm
awakened.
over on Fields.
They've
I saw
awakened Jason Hansen from the depths as our new kicker, Jake Bates. For some reason, he can't hit an extra point. I know he missed one, but I know he missed several in training camp, and he also missed one the week before. But man, it comes down to a field goal, and this man is electric. But extra points, not his thing.
bro better figure that shit out because we hopefully are kicking a hell of a lot more extra points than we are field goals. So
Yes, facts.
I'd say let's just go for two after every touchdown.
I agree.
We also
yeah, we were. I think the only time I recall us going for two last year didn't end up too well. So how about we don't go for two every fucking time?
Hey, he was
Hey, not
eligible.
our fault. He was
eligible.
This also
All right.
happens.
What about the
after
other two times? What about the other two times we tried it?
That's
This
on
also
Daniel.
happened after our last pod. Before I say this, can you guys hear me? Well, I just realized I'm kind of covering the speaker.
Yeah, we're good.
I don't know. I don't know why I can't hear any of you guys well. I think something's up.
Okay. Well, Dallas and Colin, am I good audio wise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. It's kind of covering the speaker, but anyways, you can cut that. I know we didn't really because it happened after, but JJ McCarthy with the torn, I believe, meniscus, I think it is, or I don't think it was an ACL, but he is
That was
out
a meniscus.
for the season. So Sam Darnold, QB1 for the Vikings. That's I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like, and then I don't even know they say what Jordan Addison's injury was? I know he got carted off the field, but I never ever saw anything after that. But
did not.
Vikings are cooked in.
So, you've heard it here first from the Fourth and Round podcast. Justin Jefferson has requested a trade. If I manifest that, that'd be crazy. I feel like it's gonna. If any wide receiver is gonna go, we could do that prediction. Where is CD Lamb gonna end up? Is he still gonna be a Cowboy? Will he be a Chief? Will he be anything else? Like
I don't know. I saw he posted that picture of Spider-Man with the black suit pulling the mask over his head on his Instagram story. So bro's going through it.
Bro's
I didn't-
locking in.
I did not see that. We got to get fucking over these cryptic messages by these goddamn NFL players. I'm over it, bro. Who gives a fuck? Just sign the fucking contract. Goddamn. Where's out here posting memes of these?
Could you imagine, like back then, like that's how it was. It's like when Brett Favre didn't re-sign with the Packers, bro posted something crazy on social media, or he like tweeted out from his flip phone. Like back then, it was like Green Bay fans were going to bed because the media just wasn't like it is back then. Green Bay fans were going to bed like, Brett Favre's my quarterback, and they woke up and he's gone. It's like, oh my gosh, what the fuck? This is so bullshit. Or like Randy Moss leaving the Vikings, like that type of shit. That's
I just think of like old NFL. Like you imagine Johnny Unitas or fucking like imagine Vince Lombardi today. If he's like, all right, my top player is fucking posting a goddamn fucking tweet about his contract. It's like, what the fuck? What are we doing?
them contracts
Vince Lombardi
back then
would
were,
fucking cut that man instantly. He'd say, I don't give a fuck. Like, what are
their contracts back then were how much it costs for those people that are tweeting from those phones now.
Bro, their paychecks were 2 hot dogs after the game. Like, what are we talking about?
Probably
It
was
is-
real
it
Two
is
hot
bad.
dogs
crazy.
and a 6-pack of beer.
Yeah. Hey, that's
It
a
is
good
crazy
paycheck.
somebody's fucking contract. You know, I think I saw something, and it was Dan Marino in his career, I think made like $50 or $55 million, and that's what Tua's gonna make just this year. It's like fucking what is the game like? It's good, but I feel bad for the old players. If Dan Marino in his prime was
Joe
dropping
Biden's
the league right
America.
now, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you guys see
I
the
mean,
report?
higher wages than ever. Hell yeah.
And did you guys see the report? This is crazy because I'm a big supporter of this guy, even though he's not wrong, but at the same time, I feel like he is wrong. But you see Brian Flores, apparently, when he was coaching Tua, he said he sucks and he doesn't belong at QB. I was like, damn, that's actually kind of crazy. But at the same time, Tua is the biggest, like, I don't really know in the league. That man has a great run game and a stellar defense with the best wide receiver in the NFL, and then Jalen Waddle, probably the best number 2 in the NFL. So it's like
I think we also got to take into consideration with that. When Brian Flores was on the Dolphins, Tua really did. Like, he was fucking
I like Brian Flores. I'm a big supporter.
Tua back then was, like, genuinely bad. Remember when he first took over for Fitzpatrick and the Dolphins were, like, doing well? And, like, how big, like, controversy that was? Like, Tua was not good out of
Like, Mike McDaniel's cool, but honestly, I think Brian Flores was a great coach, and I think he deserves another coaching job. He made that Dolphins team look good when it was not good. And now they have all these superstars. They went and got Tyreek. Brian Flores, if he gets another coaching job, which when I was looking up, like, doing my research about these predictions we'll talk about soon, I saw Brian Flores is like one of the favorites to win, like, assistant coach of the year. I was like, he's going to do good again, and he's going to get a coaching job somewhere, and he's going to do great. Like, I genuinely think so.
He's one of the best this season. He has been for the last couple of years, but the problem is, I believe, didn't he have a lawsuit against the NFL, and that's going to kind of anything like that is going to be like, all right, it's kind of hard for you to get a coaching job if you get a bad rep with owners. So
definitely,
he might have accidentally kind of did that to himself. I mean, I think he'll get one eventually. It's just how coaching is going to take him a good 5-6 years to get there.
Yeah. Do we want to jump into some awards? Just rattle off some of those. Obviously, that won't take too long. We can get into talking to some more about.
I'm trying to think of any other news. I know Stephon Gilmore got signed by the Vikings.
Yeah, that was kind of a big deal.
It
was just a 1-year deal, wasn't it?
Yep, 1 year. Well, I think it was 10 mil too.
That's decent for them. They need that.
What about the Falcons signing Jesse Bates and trading for Judon there? Did we talk about that one? That was during this last week.
What did they extended Jesse Bates? Because I thought he was already on the Falcons.
No, they signed that one safety. Was it Simmons? It was a safety they signed.
Oh, it was Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons.
Yeah, Justin Simmons. Jesse Bates is already a Falcon, but Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons, and then Matthew Judon. Okay, this Falcons team, wish I could change my predictions, but they might win that division. That defense is actually a pretty decent defense. You've got Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons, Deion Jones, Grady Jarrett, AJ Terrell, Matthew Judon. And I remember I had said something a couple months ago where you guys were like, "Oh, the Falcons defense is pretty bad." I was like, I think you guys are going to be surprised that I think it's above a top 15 defense this year.
I was wondering where you're going with that.
I think it's kind of at this point with bringing in all these guys kind of late, like Judon, and fucking Simmons there. I think those are going to be like contributors, but I think it's kind of more of like a thrown together defense. You know what I mean? Like, it's decent.
I think they have
decent by the end of the year.
And I think they have good, decent linebackers. They have a top 10 corner, a top 3 safety, and then a top 5 defensive tackle. So they've got good players.
You know, and like a Falcons believer would point to like Raheem Morris is like going to be a strong point of the defense. I don't really like Raheem Morris. I think when he was on the Rams, his defenses were very fucking overrated.
Okay. And I wonder, and that's just because okay, I'm not even going to get into that.
No, it's fucking the use of Jalen Ramsey and all that. They played him as like a fucking star.
Even though that defense did carry them to that Super Bowl, but we ain't gonna get to that.
That is without a doubt not a fact, but we won't.
I mean, who sacked Joe Burrow to win the game?
Anyway, I think the Falcons thing. Well, fucking yeah, we can point to one of the greatest defensive players ever. What does that have to fucking do with the DC? Anyway. Not getting into that. I think the Falcons are going to end up going as far as Kirk can take them. I think if Kirk stays healthy,
a wild card loss.
If he comes back as good as what he was last year before he tore the ACL, and like he comes out and he picks right up where he left off, I think they could fucking win. They could win like 12 games if he's that Kirk Cousins. My problem is I don't think he's going to be quite that Kirk Cousins.
I was going to say he's old enough that ACL is really going to like hold him back this year.
Leave him alone.
I just thought of this. It means we're kind of just talking on a bunch of random shit right now. Who do you guys have more faith in coming off the injury Aaron
Aaron.
or Kirk?
Aaron.
See, I think that's kind of crazy. Not gonna lie.
The former MVP. I don't know how that's kind of crazy.
Okay, we're talking about Aaron, who missed more of the year. At least Kirk played for what, about a month and a half last year. So
They're
less
both
time removed from football. And not only that, Kirk, before he got hurt, was playing some of his better football. I wouldn't say best, but he was playing.
Aaron still would have been one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league last year.
The last time we saw Aaron play, last time we actually saw Aaron play, he was fucking playing shitty for Green Bay down the stretch, and his fucking last pass was Kirby Joseph.
I mean,
so it's not like
checked out.
It's not like he was coming off a good.
It's up in the air for me. It's right here because Aaron Rodgers, he's on. It's Aaron Rodgers. Like he's on a good Jets team. He's also practiced with this Jets team enough. He's been around them enough while Kirk hasn't. And also Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, to this day, is still probably one of the most talented quarterbacks with the football. In terms of power and everything he can do with the football, he is amazing. He's so good at placing the football. So it's Aaron Rodgers in that fact. It's like the Tom Brady kind of thing. Like not Tom Brady, but it is like no matter if Tom Brady were to go to a team, it's like it's Tom Brady. But also Kirk was playing some of his better football. And I also think Kirk definitely has the better weapons, like by far. So I think
it's kind of even, honestly, for weapons.
To be fair, like Drake London is up up in the air, so I'd take Garrett Wilson over.
Like Bryce Hall.
I'd take Garrett Wilson over Drake London, but outside of Garrett Wilson, there's nothing. Like Kirk's got Kyle Pitts, which I think we are all going to see Kyle Pitts shine. Like that man had Desmond Ridder at quarterback, and he's still put up 1,000 yards, but just no touchdown because he's got Desmond Ridder. Plus, I know you guys aren't, but I'm a huge like Darnell Mooney guy. He was great in his rookie year, but then he had Justin Fields at quarterback, and he just couldn't do much. So give this man put him in that position. I think he's going to be great.
He's kind of a dog.
And then also Bijan Robinson in the backfield and Tyler Algier. I think Tyler Algier is probably a top 5 running back 2 in the league. So that's what I'm saying. All around running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. I think Kirk's got a better room than Rodgers. I think Garrett Wilson is the better wide receiver out of everybody, but I think Kirk maybe have the better weapons.
I think you can answer 2 ways. I think Kirk, like if you were to ask me which one's going to come out and have like a better statistical season, I think it's definitely Kirk. Like what we talked about, I think his offense is better. I think that, we saw him playing really good football when he left. Who knows what Aaron's going to be? Is Aaron going to be what he was in Green Bay at the very end? Is he going to be throwing like 220 a game, or is he going to be throwing 3? Like he hasn't thrown a 300-yard game since early 2022. Like it's been a while for him. So I think if you were to ask me statistically who would I rather take, I think Kirk. But I think the best odds on like a good team success, if you strip away all the drama in New York, I think Aaron has the best chance for his team to go like to win 11 games and win a playoff game. I think that's true. Hey. So it's kind of
this conversation means nothing because all that matters is that Rodgers is still, to this day, last completed pass was to Kirby Joseph. So as of right now, we can still hold that over. Could you
imagine if that man tears the other fucking Achilles?
You gotta retire.
I will. As much as that sucks, I'm still holding. Kirby Joseph still owns that man.
I would absolutely hold on to that.
That man has 3. That man has played. That man played Aaron Rodgers twice and has 3 interceptions against that man. He's literally, I know we talked about it, but he's tied he's in second place for most interceptions against Rodgers with Urlacher at like 4. Like that's insane. And Kirby Joseph played 1 year. I kind of wish
he played that man probably like a good 8 years too. Like he played him for a while.
Yeah, I the only part of me that wishes like Rodgers still sort of like played the lines because like Kirby could just, that's one stat Kirby could just keep racking up. So, hey, and we got to witness the first one, too. We were at that game.
Me and you, Marshall, we witnessed all of them.
Yeah, we did. We went to Green Bay. We all were at the Packers-Lions home game, and then me and Donnie went to Green Bay, froze our asses off. But, hey, we got the dub, so that's all that matters.
I really want to get Kirby's signature at some point, but currently my track record, if I have their autograph, they leave the team. Please. So I got to wait.
I do want Kirby's autograph.
After that man Tracy signed for you, he got relegated to a backup and then eventually cut. So please don't.
They said his name on the Niners Saints broadcast the other day, and I had like Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the people I got, Tracy and Amani are the two people that have left the Lions. I got Darius Slay's autograph. I got Darius Slay's autograph after he was already left the Lions on my jersey, and then I have Michael Pittman's autograph, and he's doing great on the Colts. And then I got Jack Fox's, so we'll see.
Oh no,
we'll see how that one. If Jack Fox just shanks every punt this year, it's not my fault.
I don't think I have any story like that. Remember that defensive tackle we got from the Giants at the end of the Patricia era, or maybe in the smack dab of the Patrician era? His name was like something Harmon, I think, or it started with an H. I remember he was like a good run stopping defensive tackle that we were hyped to get, and I got his auto.
Snacks? Harrison?
Snack? Yeah, Harrison. That's
Snacks Harrison.
Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah, I could not remember who the fuck it was. I got his autograph the fucking year he left, like that offseason he left.
That's kind of cool. I like Snacks.
I mean,
he was an underrated Lion.
I remember I have in my closet.
He was a hero.
At my house, in my closet, I have, I think, at least 4 autographs of Gold Tate. Like, that man signed everything. That man would find you so he could sign your stuff. Every time I went down there, bro was signing stuff. It's like, geez, this man is hurting his hand just from right. But we could roll into some predictions.
Do we want to just rattle off like all of ours at once, or do we want to do like everyone share their MVP?
Yeah, I think it would do one award at a time.
I think it'd be cool.
All right, who wants to go first?
So what are we starting with? We starting with
MVP.
The big boy, or are we going to start
MVP.
from the bottom and work our
We
way
should
up?
end on MVP.
End on MVP.
So we'll start
with like comeback.
All right, we'll
Comeback
start with comeback.
Sounds
Who
good.
wants to go first?
Colin, you go first.
You guys can still
All right.
see me, right?
My comeback player of the year, I went back and forth between 2 guys. I'm sure you can probably imagine which 2 guys I went back and forth on.
Tracy
But I
Walker,
eventually,
Shut the
yes,
fuck
sir.
up.
I ended up settling on Aaron Rodgers, but I was very torn because I think the Falcons are going to have a pretty good year, and I think Kirk is going to have a pretty good year. Coming off of that ACL tear, I think both of them have a pretty good case if they both have solid years.
No mention for Joe Burrow. Ooh.
Well, I thought about Joe Burrow too, but then I thought about like Kirk and Aaron Rodgers are both old, so like those could be like career-ending injuries at their age. So like, and like especially with Aaron Rodgers, he's the NFL's golden child. So like, I feel like it's got to be a lock for him to win comeback player of the year if he has a good year.
Especially as the oldest quarterback, I agree.
Yeah,
like, it's a much better story. That's what most awards are based on. Is that?
I think
I mean, they gave to fucking Joe Flacco last year. So
Joe Flacco getting it last year still will. That bothers me.
DeMar Hamlin literally died on the
field
and got back to playing football,
I
and
don't
they
even
gave it
give
to Joe Flacco because he had like 4 good weeks.
I don't even give a fuck that it didn't go to fucking. I didn't even care it didn't go to Hamlin. Like that was kind of what
it should have came back. I don't think DeMar or Joe Flacco should have got it. I don't think
it should not have been Flacco. It could have been.
We'll agree on it. Should not have been Flacco.
Yeah,
it could have been Hamlin, but it should. Yeah, fucking Flacco getting that pisses me
All
off.
right, who's going next?
I'll go next. I was in the same boat as Colin, tossing up between Aaron and Kirk. I did end up going with Aaron just because we talked about it a little bit earlier. I feel like the team success will be a little bit better with Aaron, so it'll help him boost up. But sneaky dark horse, I have Nick Chubb possibly winning comeback player of award.
All right.
Nick Chubb's leg was like this the wrong way.
I forgot all about his injury, but that is kind of a sneaky one.
I think the only thing with Nick Chubb is he's going to come back too late. He's not supposed to come back until week 4 or 5. So
that's why he's the dark horse.
He'd have to have a monster
but
year.
It is Nick Chubb. I also got Aaron Rodgers, so I just think he as long as that man at least plays 10-ish games and he throws for 3,000 yards, he's probably got that shit locked up. So
okay, I mean, I had Aaron too, but I don't want to be a basic bitch and all of us go Aaron. So I'll throw out my sneaky one. I'll just go with my sneaky one. I think Cooper Kupp has an outside shot. I mean, he would have to do really good as a wide receiver too. But I think it's somebody where he could, like, at the end of the year, you could be like, well, it could be Aaron, Kirk, or
if Cooper Kupp is even in the conversation for comeback player of the year at the end of the year. The NFL awards are so unserious. That's just insane.
He comes out if he comes out and has the mega year like he did fucking.
I was gonna say if he comes out and replicates his fucking amazing fucking year, then maybe. But like,
it's a good thing that's not in his track record. So it's the biggest one-off season of all time.
You gave out a guy who ain't coming back to like week 6. So me saying Cooper Kupp isn't the worst thing in the world.
I think Chubb would deserve it more than Cooper Kupp.
Here's my thing about
Chubb is coming back from an injury. Kupp's coming back from being ass.
I was about to say,
Cooper Kupp got hurt.
If you're saying Cooper Kupp, that's then you, and if you don't think Flacco, then because he was hurt, but
Cooper Kupp got hurt.
He played 12 games. He missed 5 games.
He got fucking hurt. Like he was hurt in most games. If you watch,
Aaron Rodgers missed every single game. Literally, Cooper Kupp started 12 games out of the season.
And I will backtrack to what I first said. I had Aaron, but I'm going outside the box a little bit, so we're all not facing his fault.
And that's Glazer. That's Glazer.
I literally said Aaron Rodgers.
Outside of the box would have been like, I don't even know. You went like into another universe. With that
my dark horse comeback player of the year is going to be Matt Stafford. I know he didn't get injured or anything, but I just feel like he's just going to come back from being just so good.
No,
so
he should have been comeback player of the year last year. That's easy to hear.
All right.
Well,
offensive player of the year.
I'll start us off this time because
all right.
What are we going to?
We'll go coach of the year.
Coach of the year.
I debated a lot on this. You could go Dan, you could go D'Amico, you could go a lot of people. I don't know if this is surprising or if you guys have him or what. I'm going Shane Steichen with the coach of the year. I absolutely like Shane Steichen, and I think the Colts are going to be a great team. I think they're going to probably make the playoffs, and they have an outside shot to maybe win their division. If, maybe they beat the Texans once or twice. Probably not going to win the division, but I think if they take that top wild card spot, I know D'Amico would be that guy, but Shane Steichen, I just have that feeling. I think he's going to win it.
All right.
I mean, that's a sneaky one. I'll give you that.
I'm going to follow Marshall because I also wrote down Shane Steichen. I thought I was going to be a lone wolf on that one. I thought I was going to be a little outside the box. But, yeah, I'm basically basing that on if Anthony Richardson comes out and he's, like, awesome. I think if he comes out and he's awesome, we're not going to give it to Richardson. Like, we're going to be like, man, Anthony Richardson was so good. But it's because Shane Steichen, like, coached him up. Just because the last time he really played football consistently was at Florida. And he wasn't really, like, much at Florida. So if he comes out and he's lighting it up, I think people are going to look at Shane Steichen more so than Richardson and be like, hey, this guy is a hell of a coach. Plus what he did last year with Minshew and everybody, I think he's a sneaky candidate.
All right, Dallas, you can go.
Oh, okay. I believe the favorite is Eberflus, if I'm not mistaken. Because if the Bears make the playoffs, it's almost like a lock for him to get it.
That's so stupid to me.
I win that award immediately to Caleb. That's all.
I think he is a terrible coach, by the way.
I agree. I believe he's a terrible
Unfortunately,
coach.
it doesn't always go with that.
Yeah.
All story.
But I think this is a Mike McDaniel year. I really think the Dolphins have a good chance of having a really good offense again like they did last year. I feel like I don't even think Mike McDaniel was even in the running last year. It didn't feel like. But I wish it'd be like a Dan Campbell or D'Amico Ryans. I just feel like
who won it last year?
Fucking Kevin Stefanski for the Browns. Remember, every award went to the Browns last year.
Which, to be fair, getting to the playoffs with 5 different quarterbacks is crazy. I'll give them that.
I was gonna say I was pissed originally, but I'm like, kind of deserved.
I'm still mad about it, but out of all the Browns awards that got given out, his was the one I respected most.
Damn, fuck Myles Garrett.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm gonna go Mike McDaniel. Oh my shit, there's one blurry. But yeah, Mike McDaniel.
Valid. So I know I have shit on Kirk Cousins in the past, but I'm starting to convince myself.
Oh, what the fuck was that?
I didn't know that was a thing.
What? What was that?
Apparently, it has camera tracking.
Man, I'm just trying to get my focus back.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kind of wild.
I'm laughing because we're talking about
I
Coach
think it's your
Beard.
left hand. I think
My
it has to
phone
be your
goes
left.
so
you
weird
know,
Well, I'm getting to it, and then
man, I'm
the
like, where
hand
is
Yeah, just
raised
just
kind of
we're-
fucked it up.
now. Just
It's
ignore
alright,
me,
just-
Colin.
This is being
Okay.
clipped out.
So anyway, I know I have shit on Kirk in the past, but I am starting to think the Falcons might be pretty damn good, and so I am going
there
to
goes the
pick
Falcons,
Raheem Raheem Morris for the Coach of the Year, just because I don't believe in the Bears to even get to the playoffs in the first place. Otherwise, I would have given it to, But
Is there a ghost in your room?
no,
I
he
believe
you know,
opened my door.
You know,
I think it was
if
a
I think the
cat.
Bears will make the playoffs, I'd give it to
No, I think one of my roommate's cats is trying to get into the room, but
Is the Raheem Morris in the room?
he's got a gun to my head.
Like,
He's like,
yeah,
give
He
me
said,
the
"You're
award,
picking
bitch.
me."
Give me the award.
if the Bears would make the playoffs, I'd give it to him. Yeah.
But I just don't believe in the Bears. I was looking at betting odds earlier for some of these awards, and weirdly, Jim Harbaugh is plus 1,000 for Coach of the Year, which
He's
I
like
thought was
top.
insane.
He's like top 2, top 3 favorite
Whoa.
or something like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think that's insane. So
I mean,
was
shit.
like-
With Marshall's prediction, he's a lock.
With
I think he has been winning 13 games.
I
What,
looked
me?
up.
No,
I looked
didn't.
up award
I'll be
predictions.
right back. I gotta shut my door
Inspiration
again.
on where to go with this. And fucking like the panel I looked at was like 5 people, and 2 or 3 of them said Jim Harbaugh. I'm like, what the Chargers are gonna win like 6 games. Like I don't
I had
understand
them
where
winning
this
5 games.
I thought
Like-
you had him making the playoffs. Or
No,
was,
I had them winning.
or was that
5
Colin? Was
I
that
think they're
Colin?
I think they're gonna pull like a typical Chargers, and they're gonna win like 5 or 6 games, but every game's gonna be within a touchdown. Like I think Jim Harbaugh's a decent coach, and I think Herbert's good enough to keep you in every game. But they literally have no fucking weapons. Lad McConkey, whatever the fuck his name is gonna be
Lad
by far the
McConkey.
best weapon. Like their
Barry
roster.
McConkey.
What is his name? Lad McConkey.
Oh, the Chargers wide receiver.
Okay. Okay.
That's about to be a thing. The episode title
The
has
way-
to be.
Bro
The title
looks
of
like
the episode has to be, is Raheem Morris standing behind me?
it was the way you slowly turned like you had like in a scary movie.
No, it's because my
And the
door
bear-
started creaking open,
Stop
and I thought it was
talking, dude. It's
for
what
a
killed
second.
me.
I thought it was my roommate, and I was
I thought
was gonna have
Colin
to
was
be like,
probably
"Hey, I'm
gonna project.
recording."
He's gonna
Like,
get lifted up into the air.
no, it was because I could hear my door starting to open, and I thought maybe it was my roommate like coming to tell me something, and then nothing was there, and then I realized
Colin,
that it was
if you
the
started
cat.
getting
Why did you
attacked,
stop talking like that though? You were literally in the middle of the point. You were like, yeah, and then I think
You guys ever seen the movie Unfriended where they're all in like a fucking
Yes.
hall? That was literally Colin saw the
Yeah.
ghost and the spirit was behind him. Oh my
the Bears coach, is he in the room with us?
Colin is taking it down the shit in this episode.
Colin, if you
Oh.
started getting attacked one mid-segment, we're just gonna keep moving on with the segment.
That's fair. That's
Oh.
Not,
fair. Anyway,
What-
I have Raheem Morris.
Okay.
I didn't believe in some of the other people that currently are favored over him, and I think the Falcons are going to be good enough that he could potentially sneak in there. So
You have him making the playoffs in your predictions, Colin?
I did indeed have
Oh,
the
okay.
Falcons in the playoffs.
Because that would have been quite the plot twist.
I think I had him like 11-6 or something like that.
He's like, no, I actually had him winning 1 game, but I think he'll win Coach of the Year.
I don't know about you guys. I'm doing all the records and everything else separate from the projections. Like I said, Shane Steichen. I could have had the Colts win in 4 games. I can't really remember.
Roll the tape. Roll the tape,
Nope.
Dallas.
Honestly, like literally, I think I have them winning
I don't
7
believe
or
in the
8.
Colts. I think the Colts are going to be dog shit.
We'll
week
go,
later.
we'll roll into Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Oh.
This wasn't a defensive heavy draft. I feel like I wasn't there. Well, there wasn't a defense player taken to what, pick 16, 17, if I remember.
Yeah, 15,
So,
16, 17 range.
It's not like these. I feel like these previous years where it's all just been it's mixed in, but a lot of defense. So I was looking at them and I've been paying attention to NFL news and stuff. And one guy has kind of stood out to me. I didn't want to go Terry on Arnold, but I also feel like honestly, I feel like Arnold's gonna be okay this year. I think Ennis Rakestraw is gonna really ball out. But the one guy who I think is gonna get it done is already on a really decent defense, and it kind of goes along with the Mike McDaniel Coach of the Year. I think Chop Robinson is going to come out with Defensive Rookie of the Year. I saw he made himself very well known in his first preseason game, and he's already being a menace in training camp. So just, like I said, I'm not really confident, but again, not a lot of defensive players. And I've been seeing a lot of things about Chop Robinson. So if I see his name, I mean, he's doing something right. So I'm just going to go Chop Robinson.
That's interesting.
All right, yeah. I guess I'll go next. Like Marshall said, this really wasn't a defense-heavy draft. And I feel like Defensive Rookie of the Year is the one award that's kind of a little bit more random than the rest of them because, like, any defensive rookie can kind of come out and be good, whether they're a late pick, kind of whatever. So I just went with a guy who I think is going to be the best defender in the class, maybe this year, if not a couple years down the road. Probably going to butcher the first name, Laiatu Latu. That went to the Colts, I believe. I believe he was the first defensive player drafted. He's the guy who I think tore his ACL, had like he medically retired and then came back. He's somebody I really wanted the Lions to draft. He just obviously did not fall far enough. I definitely liked him. I remember watching pre-draft stuff on him where like his hand movement was like elite level, like compared to NFL players, even as a college player. So I'm gonna go him. Kind of go along with Shane Steichen winning awards. Usually, if like the coach wins an award, usually a couple players along with him win an award. So that will be my little stack there.
All right. I'm going with Latu as well. I think this was honestly just a 2-horse race between Latu and Dallas Turner, in my opinion. But I feel like Dallas Turner being on the Vikings, that team as a whole is just gonna be terrible.
It's gonna be rough.
So it would be hard to justify giving him an award, even if he had better stats, in my opinion. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas Turner is a bright spot on that Vikings defense. But I'm agreeing with Donnie. I'm going to go Latu.
I'm a basic bitch.
You definitely
Lions fucking homer till I die. So I went with Terrion.
I can respect it. You can't.
I feel like that's not. It's not like unreasonable, but I know that you guys were like, we're just gonna refuse to pick Terrion.
I knew one of us was gonna go him. I knew one of us.
For me, I've got a small suspicion he's gonna be good, but enough. I don't know. I don't think we're just gonna see a lot of him. I really think Rakestraw.
Defensive Rookie of the Year is a weird award. Like it's
the weirdest.
Just hard to predict.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm not even gonna spend, even though I'm for Offensive Rookie of the Year, I'm not really gonna spend much time on. Even though I love Marvin Harrison Jr., I don't like Caleb Williams, but it's gonna be Caleb Williams. So.
Did we all pick Caleb for the record? Because I don't know if we all need to say it if we all picked Caleb.
I picked Caleb, but I have one that I really think like needs to be watched out for. He had another good preseason game. I think if Bo Nix comes out and I think he has a real shot. Bro, Sean Payton, this is what I'm saying. If Sean Payton can still coach at a good level, Bo Nix is going to be in conversation.
I'm not dogging on you at all. Solid. What's doing it for him is Sean Payton, and I'm glad he showed out last year. Cortland Sutton's a dog. Cortland Sutton's an absolute dog. So and Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams is sweet. So if Caleb just doesn't click or he gets injured or something like that, I think Jaden Daniels is going to be up there too. I think he's got a good offense. But if I had to pick, if it wasn't Caleb or Jaden, Bo Nix would probably be up there. Because Penix isn't going to play. McCarthy got hurt. So then outside of that, I think that's all the QBs if I'm not mistaken.
Neighbors has a shot.
Yeah, I was going to say, Marshall, would you have Harrison Jr. before Bo Nix, in your opinion?
So if I had to put them all up there, yes, Marvin Harrison Jr. would be above Bo Nix, and he'd probably be above Jaden Daniels, just because I put in my predictions. I think Cardinals probably go 9-8, maybe even make the playoffs, and he's going to be Kyler's number one weapon. So, and I think the Cardinals are going to play great this year. I like Kyler, and I think he's going to ball out. So obviously he's got to be thrown to somebody, and I think Marvin Harrison Jr. will be that guy. But realistically, I think it's going to be Caleb. I think he's just got all around better weapons. But do I think it's going to be Bo Nix? No. But am I absolutely upset with the the hot take? Absolutely not. He's got Sean Payton as a coach. Sean Payton is that guy.
I also think a thing that's working in Bo Nix's favor is that he is. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure he's the oldest quarterback. He played so much in college, and remember, I think I'm not 100% sure. I believe Mac Jones won it when he first came out, and I feel like a quarterback who's played a while in a pro style system, like has seen a lot of games. I think they have a good edge in Rookie of the Year if there's no like your company.
Going for Bo Nix as well, I think playing. Obviously, he has played the Chiefs twice, which is going to suck.
He's going to be bad, too. So he's going to put up numbers. Like, there's going to be garbage time games.
He's got to play the Chiefs, which is going to suck. But Chargers isn't going to be that. That isn't that hard of a game. And then Raiders is also going to be a toss-up of a game. So he's got those games where he can ball out. He can perform if he wants to. So I don't hate it. So
Donnie, just so you know, Jamar Chase won it Mac Jones's rookie year.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I thought it was a wide receiver.
He was up there. Mac Jones was up there. He went to
Mac was definitely up.
He did go to the Pro Bowl, yeah.
In a normal year, I feel like Mac.
Remember, bro, gritty into the end zone.
I was going to say that's right out because he grittied in the fucking end zone.
Yeah.
It was the worst gritty I've ever
seen. It was all downhill from there.
Yeah, shout out to Patrick Mahomes for setting that man up.
So moving on, defensive player of the year. Couple people, it's always that toss up of I feel like Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, and then now it's starting to be Max Crosby is thrown into that mix, and then outside of that, it's really just it's been those guys for the last couple of years. I'm a big Myles Garrett guy. I think Myles Garrett is probably, I know Micah Parsons is sweet, but I think Myles Garrett is maybe I think he's the strongest and most powerful out of the three. But I'm going with the three that I'm not talking about. I'm going Max Crosby. I think he's going to show out on this Raiders team. I think this Raiders team is going to be a almost even team. Gardner Minshew, I don't think is bad. I don't think I have him that high in my predictions, but with the Chargers, probably not going to do that good. And like we just talked about, Broncos could do, even or bad or maybe a little bit better. I think this Raiders team is going to go maybe 9-8, and I think it's going to be mainly because of Max Crosby and then Gardner Minshew right behind him. But I think this man Max Crosby is going to have that breakout season. So I did see Hutch a little bit, but I feel like with our stacked D line of Lee McNeil, DJ Reader, and then Marcus Davenport, James Houston, all these guys, it's going to help Hutch. But I also think he's going to be limited to maybe 10 to 13 sacks, which is still good numbers. Yeah. Those are great numbers. But with how stacked our D-line is and how we're just going to be, everybody's going to be all over that quarterback. It's just, I just feel like, Hutch is still he's going to get good production, but Max Crosby is an animal. So I got Max Crosby.
I've been going second, so I guess I'll keep going second. I'm actually kind of torn on this one because I had a guy, and then as I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, okay, actually, it could be him. I'm gonna go with the guy I trust more. I'm gonna say T.J. Watt. I think, all things considered, I think T.J. Watt is just one of those guys where we can talk about him all the time, and he somehow still just doesn't get talked about enough. I think, me personally, I think he's probably the best defensive player in football right now. I think he's that guy. He single-handedly carries the Steelers. Like, he's their only true superstar player, and he is one of the big reasons they're dragged to 9-8 every year. The somebody I think definitely could end up winning it is Micah Parsons, just because he hasn't yet. I mean,
he's the favorite right now, according to the odds.
He is, and I believe he was last year. The problem with Micah Parsons, and it's becoming a known thing, he will start out amazing, but then by the end, 3/4 of the way through the year, he just falls off a cliff. I think last year, he had 2 or 3 sacks in their final 5 or 6 games. Don't quote me on that, but his production just tails off,
Oh.
and I don't know it for him to win. For him to win it, he's gonna have to stay consistent throughout the entire year. I don't know if he can.
It is a big contract year for him, so he might just go all out.
That's it.
But yeah, I was in between TJ Watt and Aiden Hutchinson, honestly. That's the homer pick, Aiden. But TJ has shown he can get those 15 plus sack seasons like easily. And I agree with Donnie. I don't think TJ Watt gets enough credit. Like, I feel like he should already have a Defensive Player of the Year award by now. I feel like he keeps getting
doesn't?
snubbed. I don't think he does. I think he's
I'm gonna
coming
look
like
it up. I
second
would be
place.
shocked.
Who, TJ Watt?
Yeah.
TJ Watt has
Yeah, he's got one.
Does he?
might.
Yeah, 2021.
2021. Okay. I just feel
Yeah, because it went him. It went him,
Yep.
then it went.
yeah, that
then
was
it
his
should've went-
22 and a half sacks. Yep.
Then it should have went him, then Donald, then Miles Garrett, I believe.
Yeah, because that was the year he
Player of the year.
Yep.
tied the record.
Yep. 22 and a half sacks. So he does have one. I was mistaken. I thought he
It has
didn't.
been a few years.
But
So.
three years when he's played a full 3 full years, he's led the league in sacks. And
Yeah.
Okay. I was
but
trying to figure out who won it in 2022, and I looked up 2022 Defense Player of the Year, and it came up Marcus Smart. So it was Nick Bosa in 2022.
I mean,
Shout out.
that's
It was
true.
Nick Bosa in 2022. That's what it was.
But yeah, I'm gonna go Hutch for the homer pick. I do think he'll up his production, and then the fact we'll be a really good team this year. Kind of going back on, I think the Steelers are gonna be ass this year. I'm gonna go Hutch.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Dallas. I want TJ, but I like the Max Crosby pick, Marshall.
I do.
I think he could easily slip in there and be the winner. But I also kind of like the Hutch homer pick. But what turned me away from it is I think Hutch is going to be good next year, and he's going to up his production, like you said. I just don't think it's going to be good enough to win the award. He's still going to be, top 10 production wise, but I just don't think it's going to be quite enough to win the award.
Bryce Collin didn't just take the easy way. He's like, Coach of the Year, Dan. Offense Player of the Year, Amon Ra. Defense Player of the Year, Aiden Hutchinson. Offensive Rookie.
Hey, we haven't done offensive player of the year yet. You don't know if I picked Amon
Henry
Ra or
Hooker
not.
could win it.
Means we're all kind of done. I know all of you guys brought up Hutch except for me. I think the big problem with Hutch is this might be a hot take. As much as I didn't like Hutch at the beginning, I didn't love the Hutch pick. I've come around now. I think he's a very good player. My thing with Hutch though is I don't think he's ever going to be quite good enough to win a Defensive Player of the Year in his career.
I think he might have like one or
unless
two
he hits the second
years
level
where
of
he's like right there and might like
I
depending
think
on
you
the
get a
year.
couple of like top 5 finishes.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is, the way I view Hutch in my head is like, he's like Max Crosby, but he's not going to get as good numbers as Max Crosby. You know what I mean? I think Hutch's thing is he affects the game off the stat sheet, and other guys affect the game more on the stat sheet. Like TJ Watt affects the game very much on the stat sheet. But like Hutch, I mean, I believe it was 2 years ago when we all went to the Green Bay game, and like every single play, Hutch was there. He was touching Aaron, but he just literally he just didn't get a sack. But he was affecting every play. He just didn't get anything on the stat sheet. So I think that's Hutch's big
He
thing.
did get an interception.
I don't think it was the Green Bay game because I
think
remember it was
the
a
Green Bay
game.
No,
There was a game. There
got an
were
interception.
actually
He got an interception that game.
no. That's not what I'm saying. I know we got an interception that game. I'm saying I remember us talking a game, and Hutch was affecting like every single play, but I don't think he recorded a single sack. He was just like he was there as soon as the ball was getting released every time. So it's like he's affecting the play, but he's not actually like doing anything according to the stat sheet. I think that's going to be kind of how Hutch is throughout his career.
Well, Offensive Player of the Year. There's a lot that you can go with here, and no matter what happens before the start of the season, it will not change my answer. I'm going CD Lamb as offensive player of the year. I don't care if he's a Cowboy or a Chief, unless this man becomes unless he becomes, I don't know, a Viking, then my opinion will change. But it really isn't gonna change because I know he ain't gonna go anywhere like that. So I'm going CD Lamb. Like, bro was amazing last year. I think he's just gonna go even crazier this year. It is hard that he's got to beat out Tyreek. I would say Justin Jefferson, but having Sam Darnold, I feel like your production's gonna get a little bit limited. And then he's gonna have to compete with Amon-Ra. But I just think CD Lamb is gonna be on a whole nother level this year.
I like it. I like it, Marshall.
Yeah, like Marshall said, there's a shit ton of people to go with. I feel like this is very unpredictable this year just because there's so many good candidates. So I wanted to just go with somebody who's kind of a little bit more out there, but I think still has a fair shot to win it. I'm gonna say Kyler. I think Kyler's low-key gonna have a monster year stat-wise. I don't think the Cardinals are gonna be good enough wins-wise for him to really get it, but I think statistically Kyler's gonna be fringe consideration.
I'll ask you this, not to spoil your MVP pick, but just out of curiosity, do you also have Kyler as your MVP?
No,
because I think it'd be wild for a quarterback to win MVP or to not win MVP but win Offensive Player of the Year.
Well, traditionally, it's not been like that. And I think Mahomes won both in 2021 or 2019. I can't remember, but usually it goes if it's a two-man race for MVP, one of them gets Offensive Player of the Year, the other one gets MVP. Mm-hmm. Recently, it's been you get both, which I personally don't really like. I don't like that at all. So they are two different guys, I promise you. And I like it that way. That's the way I'm just going to do it. I know Kyler's not going to be a popular pick, and it's probably definitely not going to be right. But I just think a CD Lamb, I think he's going to get – I don't know what happened last year, but he should be getting triple covered every fucking play. He's the only good player on the Cowboys offense outside of Dak. So it's I just think.
Yeah, but you could have said that for Amon-Ra last year, and bro was.
I don't think Amon-Ra was the only weapon we had. I think CD is literally the only weapon the Cowboys have.
No, the Cowboys got a bunch of weapons.
Who? Ferguson?
Ferguson's dope.
He's an okay tight end.
Fast as hell.
Are they gonna be fucking making sure to bracket fucking Zeke out of the backfield coming out for passes? I don't think so. I think that. I think CD is going to be team's number 1, 2, and 3 priority going up against Cowboys.
You better watch out for Cooper Rush.
I know Kyler's out there, but I think he's going to have a monster year, and he'll be up there in consideration.
All right. Going back to what Donnie said, I think the last time the quarterback won MVP and Offensive Player of the Year, I'm looking at it was 2019. Patrick Mahomes. You just got it was Patrick Mahomes, just a different year. Offensive Player of the Year, my safe pick, I got to go Jamar Chase as my safe pick. I feel Joe Burrow is going to have a nice little comeback season. Not good enough to win the comeback year award, but good enough to give Jamar those stats. But my out there pick, my hot take, I'm going to go Garrett Wilson is going to win Offensive Player of the Year. I think he's going to be the number 1 target for Aaron, and I feel like he's just going to be eating up all of the passing yards and receiving yards.
That's
not bad. For a name that's not talked about, Steph.
My dark horse Offensive Player of the Year is Penei Sewell.
Okay. I think he's got a chance, though, honestly.
If I call that,
if we keep throwing him the fucking ball, yeah, honestly, he does have a chance.
This is lame as fuck, but I genuinely believe it. I think Christian McCaffrey's going to win it again.
Back to back?
I think so.
I don't think that's happened in the last at least decade.
I don't know if it's ever happened,
but I just have I don't know. I have a gut feeling, so I went with it.
It is. I mean, yeah, I can't say that's a bad pick, Colin, because it literally just fucking happened. So
right.
Can't shit on you there. Yeah, I would also like to clarify. I would like to clarify now that we're all wrapped up. Even though I'm picking Kyler, if I had to put money on this, I think it's definitely Tyreek Hill. That would be my betting pick. I just went with my more out there pick.
This man Colin is never original.
He's kind of not.
This man Colin is either the wildest person who does the craziest shit, or he's
or the safest.
He's Colin's Who do I think's gonna be? I think the NFL is probably the best league that plays football. Honestly, like I just think that's a hot
give
take.
me the Canadian Football League. That's real
CFL.
football.
I do want to shit on Colin for being basic like that, but my Super Bowl pick is the exact same as last year. I went Chiefs Lions with the Chiefs winning last year, so I totally should have.
And Collins is the Chiefs 49ers with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I have the 49ers. I have agendas that I gotta push, dude. I have agendas.
Reading the script of last year and said, "Yep, it's gonna happen all again."
I mean, we can hate on him, but like we can't say there's no shot of it happening. It means it literally just happened. So he's kind of got the right idea.
No, he doesn't kind of got anything.
He's just banking on the year being the exact same. Nobody get hurt. Everything happening the exact same.
Yep.
All right.
MVP. Did we all pick the same person, or do we all have some crazy picks?
Let's go through the list, Colin. How about that? It means it's the biggest award. I think we can all say
If
it.
you have Devon A-Chain as your MVP, then I guess we do have the same pick.
Marshall, start us off.
If I have Devon A-Chain. This is honestly the only one where I've kind of been questioning myself. My friends, I just kind of, I don't really know like if I want to, what I want to go with, and I honestly am sitting here still thinking about it.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, we can circle back. So give you time to think. This one's gonna be.
Turn your camera
All
back
right.
off if you're gonna show up back like that.
That look. I already know who he's going.
Out of all my picks, this is gonna be the most out there one. I will give you guys right now.
Matt Stafford.
It's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna go somebody to really burst on the scene this year. I'm gonna go Patrick Mahomes.
First
I'm
on
really-
the scene.
I'm really gonna go out there. This guy Patrick Mahomes. I know last year he wasn't up there, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Patrick Mahomes. You thought I was gonna say Matthew Stafford, didn't you? All three of you motherfuckers.
Yes,
All
we
three
did.
of you motherfuckers were definitely thinking Stafford.
I mean, the minute you said this is hard, we already knew. Like,
All right, that's.
hey.
So anyway,
Yeah, I think this is a two-horse race in the sense that if the Bills somehow win their division again, it's Josh Allen. If with this team, Josh Allen gets them to the playoffs, wins the division, I think it's hands down Josh Allen. But it's 100% Patrick Mahomes. This is the year, like three-peat MVP. This is the year for Patrick Mahomes. But I would not be surprised if Josh Allen sneaks in if they make the playoffs.
So I don't. There's no easy way to say this.
Oh no! What is this?
I'm going Brock Purdy
Brock
for MVP.
Purdy.
I'm not actually going.
Oh,
I'm going Patrick Mahomes.
Oh my god! Bro, I'm about to really destroy my room. I swear to God. I guess I get that. From
I
Mahomes.
knew that would get a reaction, especially out of Donnie. So
To be fair, you
I
have him
to
going
go
back
with
to
that.
the Super Bowl.
I do have him going back to the Super Bowl, so that's why I knew that it would be believable for like a second until I say I'm just kidding.
Oh, fuck you.
I'm going
Ain't
Patrick
no way.
Mahomes. This
man.
I do
Collins,
like the
I
Josh
thought this
Allen
man was
point.
I thought this man was putting in his 2 weeks for the podcast. There's no easy way to say this, but
You didn't start that crazy. There's no easy way to say this, guy.
So-
Like, it's a fucking take on. Calm down. There's an easy way to say it. Just say it.
who I had was Patrick Mahomes. But
But now because we all said Patrick Mahomes,
fuck following the crowd.
This is me with the comeback player.
tell us who you picked. Like it doesn't matter what we say. Just
Colin,
tell us
can
who
you please
picked.
shut the fuck up while I'm picking? Please
Dude,
do
I
interrupt
ain't
me.
taking that because if I would have said Matthew Stafford, all three of you would have crucified me. So go.
I mean,
fuck
we can
yourself.
flame you, but like, just tell us who you
Excuse
picked.
you.
Like,
You just said, who cares who we picked?
no, I mean, like, who cares who we picked? Like, it doesn't matter that 3 of us or 2 of us picked Patrick Mahomes. Like,
Who?
just pick
All right.
Patrick Mahomes if that's what you think.
Colin, shut up.
All right, whatever.
Appreciate it.
Fuck you.
So I did write down Patrick Mahomes, but I ain't going Patrick Mahomes. I don't. Something about Patrick Mahomes scares me this year, and I feel like it's gotten to the point where the Chiefs just win, but he also just doesn't. He doesn't put up those kinds of stats where he's going to win MVP every year. But he doesn't need to, I don't think, to be what he already is. I'm going CJ Stroud. They got even better, and that schedule isn't looking any harder than last year. After the stellar end to his year last year, I'm going CJ Stroud just because, like, I can't go. Lamar's not going to win it again, and I don't think Joe's ready to win one yet, especially just coming off last year. But I think this man Stroud's just going to come out and ball out, and I think it's going to be close right there with Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, I got Stroud.
All right, now for the real big one. Who's your FedEx round player of the year?
Greg Reynolds.
Shut the fuck. I would like to circle back for a second. I don't know. I think he was the only one. I know Dallas brought up Josh Allen. We all know I'm not a big Josh Allen supporter. So, in the way the Bills roster is this year, with them losing all their wide receivers and kind of being more of a run-focused team at the end of last year, I think this is the one year where it's like Josh Allen has no chance to win it. But I also think that's why this is maybe his best year to win. Because if he comes out and somehow has a great year and, like, they have nothing, he's 100% going to get it just because of the story.
You know why I think Josh Allen's going to be good this year?
Such a story.
Is I've already heard some reports come out. I think Stephon Diggs wasn't being on the Bills wasn't good. I don't think it worked well, and I don't think him and Josh Allen worked well together. As much as they seemed like good friends, I think as much as I think Stephon Diggs is a dog, I think he's a little bit of a. I think he's a bitch. I honestly do. I kind of think he's a little self-centered. I think he's kind of he gets way too whiny.
Ooh, goddamn, I haven't heard this.
But I still think he's great. But I think he affects people's productions. I think him being on the team doesn't make the team better. He tries to make himself better. So Stephon Diggs, if you're watching this, fuck you. I still think you're a dog, though. Ball out this year, man.
Hey, man, you're a dog, but fuck you.
I really don't want to be that guy, but I feel like I have said
he would watch this podcast, too.
I feel like I have said this about Stephon Diggs for years. Yeah, I think Stephon Diggs is he's one of the most talented guys in the league where it's like, I think having him on the roster is just not fucking worth it. Like, he's so much a diva where it's like,
and
his production's so high, but the drama's so high with him where it's like, I would just rather not.
I'm a big Keon Coleman guy, and I think if he's good, I just feel like it's going to be one of those things where it's like, damn, the Bills lost everybody, and they got this Keon Coleman guy. They're going to suck this year. And all of a sudden they come out, and it's like Josh Allen starts playing better. And it's like, what the fuck happened? I think out of nowhere, I feel like that's just how it's going to happen. So, I
just wouldn't be surprised if Josh Allen led the league in touchdowns again. Like, and if he did, and like I said, brings them to a playoff game, even if it's a wild card, not even win the division. His usage is pretty high.
Josh Allen, if he can put his production up, Josh Allen is maybe he might be the funniest person off the field and maybe the best person to watch off the field, but that's current player. If he could be one person, like I swear every NFL player has their own podcast. I feel like if he's one person that if he had a podcast, that would be pretty funny to watch because he's a pretty funny dude.
Yeah, I am the notorious Josh Allen hater. I think he's an awesome dude. Like, every time I watch him, he's funny. And along with what Dal's saying, I think the script for him, because I think the main reason he hasn't sniffed an MVP, really, I mean, he's gotten votes, but, like, he's never really been truly close to winning an MVP. I think it's mainly because of the turnovers and the decision-making. And with them looking to be a more run-first team and him not having, like, a stud wide receiver that he feels like he's going to have to push the ball to, I think this is the year where he could really, like, play more conservative. Like, still throw the ball a lot, all that, but, like, make more check down passes instead of trying to push it to Stephon, that kind of thing, whereas turnovers could get cut down a lot. I think if he does that, I think he could sacrifice 5 touchdowns and 600 yards and still have an MVP year because he takes his turnovers from fucking 20, he turns them to like 12. And I think that could be I think that's the only thing really holding him back from being an MVP.
No, 100%.
All right. That's it. GG's.
GG's.
Thank you guys so much for watching and, sticking with us. The season's almost here. Super exciting times. We've got this last preseason week, and then we've got a week off, and then crazy to think that, the NFL season is back already. It feels like it just ended. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. And thanks for watching.